What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another edition, a later edition of the Ricky Widmer Show right here on MVP Sports. First off, thank you guys for kind of bearing with me. Stuff coming up this week, was not able to get this show out at the 10:30 Central time that I try to get these out, or I have this week. So this one's a little later. Got a jam-packed show though. Before we get into everything, make sure to hit that like button. If you like the video, hit the sub button. If you love it, hit that notification bell if you want to stay tuned to everything coming up with MVP Sports, what videos I have planned for you guys. And one thing I want to sneak in here too that I've been forgetting, join the Discord, link down below. We got a great community. We talk about all sports in there. NBA's a huge one though. I want to grow those other ones. So if you're not in the MVP Discord, go ahead and join it. It's free. Down below is the link to do that. And we're going to start the show today with some somber's not the right word, sad, just blatantly sad news as the Michigan Wolverines football community today and the Walker family are hurting as Demetrius Walker, known to many in the Michigan fan base as Michi, has sadly lost his battle with cancer, died today. And just a little bit of the backstory in case you don't know anything, pulled all this from the ESPN article. Walker was a former high school standout, played defensive end at Muskegon High School in Michigan, was also a very big Michigan Wolverines fan. He got several D1 offers, Kentucky, Michigan State being some of the big ones, but as the article on ESPN said, his biggest dream was to one day play for the Michigan Wolverines. However, Demetrius's life changed in November of 2020 when he was diagnosed with a type of bone cancer, had surgeries, had operations, procedures done, and it leads us to the sad news of today where he has sadly lost his life. And this is just something I kind of wanted to include in the beginning of the video, just to first, I know it doesn't help, but T's and P's to the Walker family. I'm definitely thinking about them today, as many are in the Michigan Wolverine football community. But also, I kind of wanted to put this in as a reminder. I'm taking this a little bit from Philip DeFranco, so sorry, Phil, I'm going to take your quote here. But Phil always has a comment when he has stories like this on his general news videos, and I think this applies here of, if there's anything you do from this, take this as a reminder to all your loved ones today. Tell them you love them. Tell them how much you appreciate them. Let them know. Give them a hug if you can, because it's just a sad reminder that we don't know. Nobody knows the last day that we're going to spend on this big rock that we call Earth. So yeah, I take this as a reminder to tell your loved ones you love them, how much they mean to you, give them a big hug, and of course, thoughts and prayers. I know it doesn't help the Walker family, Michigan community. We're kind of keeping you in our thoughts at this moment in time, and just R.I.P. Demetrius Walker. You'll always be remembered. All right, now to kind of segue into what we're talking about today. It's a full NBA show today. There was a lot of NBA stuff that I was seeing, not a lot. For the baseball stuff, here's how I'm treating the baseball stuff. Just a little disclaimer here. I'm not going to talk about every signing on the Ricky Widmer Show. What I'm going to do either this weekend or sometime next week, I'm going to kind of compile most of the deals that have already happened and kind of give like a longer format video, my thoughts on the deals, a grade on each deal. So I've talked about the bigger ones, no kind of big ones, no big splashes today, just some little pebbles. So we got a full NBA show today, and what we're looking at first is the Atlanta Hawks. As it has been reported, it has been announced, it has been broke that Dejounte Murray is going to miss 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks, with a ankle injury that's been keeping him out the last couple of games. And for me, this was one that I kind of wanted to start with because the Atlanta Hawks have a little bit of issues at the moment. And the reason why we talked about earlier in the week, the Trae Young, Nate McMillan. I want to say that was Monday's show where we had Trae Young and Nate McMillan at odds. People questioning if the locker room are at odds because some reports said that, everything's fine. Others said that the players side with Nate McMillan, which if you're siding with one side over the other, you're kind of making a little break there. And also they're dealing with injuries. John Collins is injured. You also have DeAndre Hunter, who is injured for this team. I know Bogdan recently came back, has played 3 games, plays tonight as the Hawks have a game tonight on Friday. But this is just one where I look at the next 2 weeks, and I'm including tonight in there because tonight hasn't happened. But you look at the next 2 weeks for them, which is about 8 games. And yet again, just because it's 2 weeks doesn't mean Dejounte is going to magically come back on the 27th. It might be, hey, in 2 weeks, reevaluate. Oh, he's out for another week. Oh, he's day-to-day and misses a game or two. So kind of grain of salt there when we talk about ranges for injuries. But their next 8 games over the 2 weeks, they have the Nets tonight in Brooklyn. Then they play the Bulls at home. So the Nets, that'll be a tough opponent, especially in Brooklyn. I know the Nets haven't been world beaters, though, this year. The Bulls, I'm a Bulls fan, just throwing that out there in case you don't know. You're a Hawks fan coming into this, and you're like, I do want to throw that in there. However, I do not think that is a for sure win for the Bulls. The Bulls are hot and cold. Bulls could win, but I could also see the Bulls losing. So a toss-up game, we'll say. Then the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, I think, are a better team than the Hawks, but they're also dealing with injury concerns of their own. They have Desmond Bane out. Steven Adams has been missing some games. He's been a game-time decision as of late, so who knows who's going to play in that game. Then you get a little bit of relief, and I say relief, and I almost don't want to say that because one of these fan bases I feel like will get angrier than the other. The next 3 games after that, you have 2 road games against the Magic and the Hornets. And then you play the Magic again at home. And the Hornets, let's just say, they're bad at basketball this year. They're dealing with, LaMelo was out most of the year. He's out most games. He's out tonight for their game playing today on Friday as I record this. So the Hawks should win that game. The Magic, though, that's an interesting one because the Magic have been a team, yes, right now, again, riddled with injuries. Wendell Carter hasn't played. Jalen Suggs is injured. So, I expect the Hawks to be able to win these 3 games, but I wouldn't be surprised if they split one with the Magic because the Magic can play up. They are a team that has played up to opponents this year and have won games that I didn't even expect them to win, in all honesty. And then the last 2, the Bulls, I've already talked about them. Both Bulls games at home, by the way, so I guess we'll put the favor in Atlanta. And then a game you guys should win, the Pistons. I mean, will Cade be back? I don't know, probably not. As long as Killian's out there, anything is possible. Maybe Bojan pops off, but you should beat the Pistons. So what? That's 4 wins for sure. 6 if you win both Bulls games, 5 if you win one of them, and then 6 if you win the Grizzly game. This isn't going to be, I say this all the time, it's not going to be make or break at this point, but it'll be interesting. The most interesting thing with this is what this does to the team. How can they play? They already don't have John Collins, already don't have Hunter. How long does this injury kind of nag on for? And kind of, does it become a nagging thing? Will it be something where he misses the 2 weeks and then Dejounte is back? Because I think this Hawks team needs Dejounte and Trae Young out there in order to be a formidable force. Now, the good thing is you're in the East, which is not as loaded as the West. The West is a much more loaded conference in my mind than the Eastern Conference. But this is where you guys come in. Let me know what you guys think down below about the Dejounte Murray injury and how this will affect the Hawks over the next 2 weeks and over the season. What do you think is going to happen? Let me know down below. All right, the next 2 things are kind of going to be blended together. I'm still going to do a time mark one and then the other, but they both deal with the Knicks, so they might not have a jump cut is what I'm saying. And the first thing we're going to talk about here is apparently the Knicks are being intrigued and teams are reaching out saying, ring-a-ding-ding, is Cam Reddish for sale? I don't know why I'm doing this accent. I don't know where that accent came from, but ring-a-ding-ding, can we get a Cam Reddish? What would you like? Yeah, the quote from Ian Bagley says several teams have expressed interest in trading for Reddish since the Knicks acquired him in January 2022. The Los Angeles Lakers, the Miami Heat, and the Milwaukee Bucks are among the teams who reached out to New York in that span. First off, makes sense that these three teams would want to reach out for a Cam Reddish, give them some bench depth, give them a guy that they can bring off the bench, play some vital minutes. I mean, Lakers, we think will be a playoff team. They're better than they were at the beginning of the season, but anything can happen. Russ is on that team. Miami, they have not really been world beaters as well, but they should be in the playoffs. There's no question that they're going to be a playoff team, and there's no question that the Bucks will be a playoff team, but B, that they'll probably be in the semifinals. They may even be in the conference finals. Hell, might even be in the finals. They're a really good team. So all three of these teams, I can see why they want Cam Reddish. Hey, we want a vital piece to maybe bring off the bench, or hey, if we need to slot him in to a starting role during the regular season, we can do that, play some vital minutes for us. My question here is, what will the Knicks be asking for? Because there's another side to this. It's not prudent to what the trade value is, but it is prudent to, will the Knicks even trade Cam Reddish? I think they will, but a little grain of salt here, as this is through Peter Bodie. Hope I'm saying that name right. A Cam Reddish quote through Peter, and it says, "I haven't requested any trades. I have not. Y'all seem to know more than me, for real. I don't know what y'all talking about, but I haven't requested no trade, nothing like that." Guess the issue is some people say Cam Reddish has requested a trade. The Knicks are trying to work on a deal to make him happy. I'll be honest. I don't care if Cam Reddish requested a trade. If he did, I could see, sorry, Knicks fans, I could see why he would want a trade out of New York, because it's the quote that I heard Dave said. I don't know where Dave got it from. People want to play at the Garden. They don't want to play for the Garden. Or no, the quote was, people want to play in the Garden. They don't want to play for the team in the Garden. That's what it is. So people want to play in Madison Square Garden. It is a prime time venue. But no one wants to play for the Knicks. The Knicks haven't been, like, in my mind, the Knicks have been a laughingstock since the 90s even. That's even, they were losing to Michael Jordan, but at least they can say, hey, we lost to the GOAT. So there's that. For me, though, the Knicks, what would you ask for? And this kind of blends me into it'll blend me into the next topic, but what I think they asked for, because the Knicks are looking for somebody like the Donovan Mitchell. They lost out on Donovan Mitchell. They want a player like that on their team. Well, guess what? Cam Reddish is not you're not going to get that from either of these three teams. You're not going to get a Jimmy Butler. You're not going to get a LeBron James. You're not going to get a Anthony Davis. You're not getting a Giannis, a Chris Mid, or a Drew Holiday. So what could you get for Cam Reddish? I think what they try to do is position it to see, okay, which team gives us the most? And by I say the most, draft picks, players that could then be used in other trades, because they need to stock up. They need to do basically what the Thunder are doing. However, the Thunder have acquired draft picks to say, hey, we're getting Victor. We're either going to give you a boatload of picks or we're going to win the lottery. The Knicks need to do that, because the next star player that comes available, they need to have a Danny Ainge war chest, but actually use it. They need to have the chest that they can open and say, here you go. Here it is. Or they just, hey, get Russ. Here's Old Reliable, part of Old Reliable. I know you don't have THT, but hey, maybe you can get him in a deal. I know he's not with the Lakers, but hey, maybe call up, see if he's for sale. But, then you have to get Kyle Kuzma. I know we talked about that. Now I'm going off on a tangent. But the Knicks need to do that. They need to get pieces that they could say, hey, a team would want these. These are valuable pieces. Draft picks, role players, not end of the bench role players, but vital minute kind of role players. And then you've already got the Mitchell Robinsons. You already got your RJ Barrett, your big contract that you can throw in there and say, hey, we'll give you this. Go ahead. Here you go. because I know people right now are saying RJ Barrett would not be in that deal. If you're telling me that there's a better player out there, a bigger star than RJ Barrett, you're damn right that the Knicks will go ahead and include him in a deal if the player they're getting is better. But it kind of leads me into the next story, and it's one that I pulled from our Discord. Again, join it down below. Retro, one of our dudes from Australia, across the pond, not the normal pond we talk about, but the opposite pond, the pond to the west. He threw a tweet in there where I think it was ESPN. They were talking to Woj, asked him a question about the Knicks, and he had this to say about the Knicks, and he dropped a name that I wish he would just keep out of his mouth when it comes to this topic, but here it is. Let's take a look at it.
So we saw earlier this week Donovan Mitchell come through Madison Square Garden, and folks started chatting about this Knicks roster. What exactly can or are the Knicks looking to do here to make some construction moves?
And Malika, you go back to September 1st when Cleveland made that trade for Donovan Mitchell. This may haunt this Knicks regime until the end. That was a player who wanted to be in New York, and they were within shouting distance of getting a deal done, but they didn't. And New York's hope was that the amount of first-round picks they have, their own plus some others, and their young players would help to get them back a star, a big player in a trade. But as the Knicks found out, players like Donovan Mitchell do not become available very often, and that's the challenge for the Knicks right now. Who is the next big player that becomes available that the Knicks can try to make a deal using their picks, using their young players? And that's the race against the clock right now. The Knicks will be watching Chicago. Is Zach LaVine a player who before the trade deadline possibly could become available? He certainly isn't now, but I think for New York, in the short term, they have such a glut of young players. Obi Toppin, Cam Reddish, who they got from Atlanta in a trade last year, who's out of the rotation now, Emmanuel Quickly. They have got to figure out who they're going to keep and who they're going to move on from. And I think right now for New York, I think the clutter of young players is a challenge for them as they try to chart the course for this team. But ultimately, this is a star-driven league. The Knicks did land Jalen Brunson in free agency last summer. He's been outstanding for them. But they need a star attraction. They thought they had it in Donovan Mitchell. And now the challenge for Leon Rose is, when does that player become available again, and can they get him in a trade? And
so we will be keeping an eye on the Knicks as we start to head towards that trade deadline. Adrian Wojnarowski, thank you so much.
Woj, I'm speaking to Woj now. Me and Woj are having a little bit of a conversation here, so pardon me for 1 minute. Woj, please keep Zach LaVine's name out of your mouth when you talk about Knicks trades, because no, I'm not sending him to New York. No, just don't even waste the breath. Doesn't even need to be said. Thanks, Woj. I appreciate it. With that being said, I don't know what the Bulls are going to do. I don't know. And this is something where I'm going to announce this now. This is the segment I plan to do it. Starting this weekend, I am going to have a weekly Bulls podcast here on the channel, hosted by myself. Sometimes it may just be me. Other times I may try to bring in other Bulls fans that I like, have people that I respect their opinions on the podcast to talk all things Bulls. My plan is recorded on weekends, posted on Monday nights. The time, I don't know. I'll decide it next week, but I will be recording my first one this weekend. Also, if any of you, I don't have a name either, so if any of you have a good name for it, throw me your ideas in the comment section, and maybe I use one of them, because I need a name. I got nothing right now, but gonna record that this weekend. However, I say I don't know because I don't know the direction of the Bulls right now. And the reason why I say that is the Bulls are in some limbo because we're not a great team. The Lonzo injury is a big part of it. Like, I have been a Bull. Jake hates when I say it. I have said to the 10th degree, Dave has also, that if Lonzo Ball was healthy, this team would be different. But he's not. And I don't know how that is going to affect what we do in the future. Is AKME just going to double down, say, hey, we're just going to wait for Lonzo to be healthy? Because there's a chance he's never going to be healthy, and that scares me. Is it going to be a, hey, Lonzo's never going to be healthy fire sale, and we just sell everyone? DeMar's gone, Zach's gone, Vucevic's gone. I don't know. I personally like Zach LaVine. I will say that. I heel turned it the day he accepted the deal with the Kings. There's a Fast Break podcast on this channel where I was dropping F-bombs, saying, screw Zach LaVine. If you're not with us, you're against us. If you don't want to be a part of us, get out of town. Typical fan stuff. My dogs also agree. That, hey, that was not right. Zach LaVine should have wanted to stay. He got his bag, though. The Bulls gave him his bag. And then I completely 180'd. Love Zach. I've loved Zach ever since. But I know I've talked to Jake, and it's like, oh, his knee issues. He has degenerative knees. He's never going to have the same knee strength. So, I don't know. Can you build a team around Zach? I think you can. I would love to keep Zach, but I'm coming more and more to the possibility that we may have to trade Zach. And would a team like the Knicks be the team that we trade him to? It all depends. It all depends on what the Knicks can get. What do they have? Right now, they do not have the pieces for me to even think about a Zach LaVine trade. There's no way I would even think about trading him to the Knicks. What are you going to give me? Because even the best you can give me, I don't want. The one opinion I do agree with, and I don't know if I've said this recently, I've said it all the time in the Discord. I agree with Chainsaw in our Discord, who said one player you should watch is Kobe White. I agree. Get him the hell out of town. Get Kobe out of here. He's nothing but a trash can. Oscar the Grouch is my nickname for him. He's garbage. Shouldn't even be playing minutes. We should be playing Dalen Terry instead. Send Kobe to the G League. Play Dalen Terry. I can't stand Kobe White. He makes me so angry when I see him because, yes, there are games where it's like, oh, Kobe White had a good game, but there's so many just bad games from Kobe White, and he'll just chuck threes and miss them, and it's, oh my God, I just can't stand Kobe White. I cannot wait until Kobe White is off this team. You guys have no idea how happy I will be when Kobe White is off this team. You have no idea, but I digress. Kobe White should be a name you watch for the Bulls to trade. I right now wouldn't trade Zach LaVine. I don't even know if the Knicks could get the pieces, get the things to trade for Zach LaVine or any star that may come available. What I wanted to do was end the show with I wanted to leave this up to the comment section. First off, obviously, let me know what you think about the Cam Reddish stuff, the Zach LaVine stuff. Knicks fans, I want to hear from you if I haven't pissed you off already. I wanted to leave this with kind of like a little list, and you guys tell me out of these names, who's most likely to get traded? What trades do you have? I'm leaving up to you guys, where December 15th is coming. It is next Thursday, and there are players that will be available to be traded starting on that Friday the 16th, or midnight of the 16th. Are they going to get traded on the 16th? Probably not, but they can get traded after that. It opens up the window for more trades to happen. I'm going to list off some names. You guys tell me in the comment section who gets traded, who doesn't get traded. Throw out your trade machines and all that down below. So the first one we got from the Clippers, John Wall becomes available. The Jazz, they have Colin Sexton available. JaVale McGee of the Mavericks right now. Caleb Martin, who's on the Heat. The Bulls obviously have Goran Dragic and Andre Drummond. The Lakers have Troy Brown, Damian Jones, and Juan Toscano Anderson, the former Dub Nation. The Wizards have DeLon Wright. I almost said Dion. DeLon Wright. Brooklyn has Patty Mills. Minnesota has Kyle Anderson, Bryn Forbes, and Austin Rivers. The Knicks have Isaiah Hartenstein, who I know Retro is very upset that the Clippers let him go. Danilo Gallinari for the Celtics, and then Joe Ingles of the Bucks are kind of the big names that are the more notable names that I kind of compiled for this. So this last part, I'm just leaving it up to you. Out of the names, is there a name I left off? Let me know who you guys think after December 15th is most likely to be traded. Give me your trades down below. If there are enough trades down below, I will do a video where I react to trades from the comment section. So go ahead, let me know what you guys think. I may also throw this up on Twitter to get the Twitterverse involved too, but let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I am sorry. I apologize again that it was later than usual. We should be back to schedule next week for all Monday through Friday, but thank you guys for checking out the video. Remember, join the Discord if you haven't already. That's down below for free. Hit that like button if you liked the video. Hit that sub button if you really loved it. And ring that notification bell if you want to stay in tune with everything I got going on here at MVP. Thank you guys so much for everything. And as always, have a good day, everybody.